Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the NECA A Nightmare on Elm Street San Diego Comic-Con 2012 exclusive Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5 Freddy Krueger. This is the black and white version of Freddy Krueger. Again, comes to us from the San Diego Comic-Con. You can see that he comes with a couple of accessories, all of which we'll get into when we get the package opened up. Down below, there's a picture of Freddy Krueger, and on the right corner, we've got a picture of a Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, the Dream Child poster. Not really a great poster for a somewhat mediocre movie anyways. Spot, I think of all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, Spot really dislikes Part 5. There's something about it I really don't care for. However, when I did hear that the San Diego Comic-Con was going to have a black and white exclusive Freddy Krueger, I was extremely excited to get this guy. And if anybody was wondering, Spot actually picked this up on eBay. On the back of the package, picture of the figure as well as Mark Gray on the back there. Who is Mark Gray? Well, we'll get into that in a second. In his dreams, aspiring young artist, Mark Gray, there you go, transforms into the heroic Phantom Prowler and valiantly challenges Freddy. They battle within the pages of the Nightmares from Hell comic book, but in the end, Mark is reduced to paper and literally sliced to pieces by the all-too-powerful Freddy. One thing that's nice is at the bottom of the package, the San Diego Comic-Con Freddy does actually show you pictures of the new upcoming figures of the Nightmare on Elm Street via the Dream Warriors Freddy with his syringe fingers, as well as the Dream Child Freddy. Very nice indeed. What I am going to do is take a bit of a break. I'm going to get this opened up. And when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the NECA Nightmare on Elm Street San Diego Comic-Con 2012 Freddy Krueger. There's more to come. Stay tuned. When I first heard about this figure being released, I was wondering how they were going to handle the Mark accessory. Obviously in the movie, he's depicted upon his death as basically just a piece of paper. Unfortunately, when I get him out of package, that's essentially what we're getting, which is almost what I would say is the more disappointing aspect of this figure, is this Mark accessory. You can see that he has been slashed at the side there by Freddy's claw. I mean, the detail is there. It looks a lot like Mark as he did in the movie. You can see here where the paint is now bleeding out from him. But the biggest problem with this figure is really the same problem he would have had in the movie. He's just cardboard. He is just a piece of cardboard folded in half. Oh, there goes Freddy. He's not even going to wait for this. Folded in half, and then you can fold the bottom pieces together. It doesn't even seem like they put a lot of effort into this, which is a bit of a shame. I would say, if anything, maybe you might want to glue these together. I'm almost surprised that it wasn't already glued together. Because looking at the side, you're unfortunately looking at, just two pieces of cardboard that aren't even securely put together. So I would say maybe you might want to glue these together and then fold that base to give them a stand. I don't know why. Maybe as a collector I would have been asking too much, but I would have loved if this was just one solid piece, and that maybe this was like a laminated or stickered piece of plastic, and then it was actually sat into a stand or a base or something like that. Just having it loosely just a piece of cardboard, he doesn't even really stand very well either. He does stand, but he just feels really flimsy. So for really, I guess the wrong reasons, he's what you would expect it to be, but it's just, I just wish it would have been a little bit more. I mean, again, too, to pack him away when you eventually, if you take your figures down, you take them off the displays and you pack away your figures, I'd be worried that Mark here, poor Mark, is going to get creased, bent. I guess it it only adds to the effect of the fact he is made out of cardboard, but I just kind of wish it was a little bit more than just what we got. Especially having it glued together, I think if anything would have been at least expected. But so you get Mark, good or bad, you get him as the accessory. I like that they included him, just wish they had done a little bit more with it. Now having a look at Freddy, I'm really liking this figure. Really liking it a lot. And we zoom in. He's essentially the same Freddy Krueger body as we've gotten with all the other Freddy Krueger figures. Obviously colored completely black and white. So you got the black and white sweater, two tones. There's the dark gray pants. I even like the fact that his glove, it's kind of a purpley gray, and then his blades, nicely not, thank goodness, not too bent. I mean, really the only one that is slightly bent is this one right here, but a little bit of heating, I could probably fix that, probably get it back into place. But I really like the detail. You can't really say too much for a black and white figure, but I think they did a really great job on it. Taking off the fedora that also Freddy comes with. Let's have a look at his face. It's a pretty good face. It is a pretty good face indeed. Now I've got my finger up to my face here. I'm trying to think if that is a new head sculpt. You can't see me right now, but I'm actually looking at my shelf over there of my other Freddy figures. It does look like it's a little bit different than some of the other ones that we've gotten. Even if it turns out it's the exact same figure, figurehead, obviously the idea of having it painted in black and white really makes this figure look awesome. It looks like there's a little bit of imperfections there, a little bit of paint on the top above his eye, but for the most part it's a really decent job. Really good job from Neca. We put the fedora on his head, like so. And you definitely have a nice figure to present on display with the rest of your Freddys that you've been collecting from Neca. I would almost have said I would have liked to have seen a Super Freddy, but I don't know. You know, sometimes with the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, a lot of times it's basically the same figure of a line, and then they just do something different to it. So if we are going to get an exclusive Freddy, and if all they can do is just a black and white version of maybe an existing figure and use a lot of the same pieces, I'm pretty good with that. I'm pretty good. I would have loved to see a Super Freddy, but if we can get an exclusive at all of a Freddy Krueger figure, I'm glad at least we got this guy right here. He looks really nice. His other accessory is this. You get the bladed roller skateboard. Thank you. I kept wanting to say roller skate, but you get a bladed skateboard. The blade's on the end there. On the other side, you can see some claw marks. The wheels don't move. They're just a solid piece. They don't do really anything. But we don't really need it to do anything anyways. I mean, it's just a skateboard. It's just really something, depending on how you want to have your Freddy displayed, you can kind of just have him standing on the skateboard like so. And you can maybe just have him winding up to swing his glove, like so. And I think you have a really neat display piece. It takes a little finagling to get him to stand, but you have yourself a really nice display piece. You put Mark in the back, as kind of sad and pathetic as it is, you can put him in the background there. And you really have a nice showpiece. In the way of Freddy's articulation, being, again, he's just a repaint for the most part, you're going to have that same ball-jointed head. You're going to have the pin and socket shoulders, rotate all the way around. His arms bend on a pin as well. You can rotate those arms back and forth all the way around, really if you wanted to, but be a little careful. Sometimes those are a little iffy. You don't want them to break off. You have ball-jointed hand on one side, ball-jointed hand on the other side, rotation in the waist. Actually, correction, a ball jointed waist. And a swivel, no, a ball jointed foot as well. Pretty good though, pretty good indeed. And that again is a really nice pose. If anything, only gripe I would make is the fact that I wish this one blade wouldn't be so crooked, but still, I'm not going to find too much fault with it. And again, I'm really happy that Neca took the time and gave us a black and white version Freddy. Super Freddy would have been cool, but black and white Freddy is still pretty decent indeed. Love the figure. Not really keen on the mark. I wish they had done more with it. But all things considered, a pretty good figure. If you're collecting Nightmare on Elm Street figures, I think this is a figure you should pick up. And for that reason, I'm actually going to give Part 5 Freddy black and white. I'm even going to give him the number in black and white. How about that? I'm going to give him a 9. Today's Toy Spot, we're having a look at the San Diego Comic-Con 2012 Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5 Freddy Krueger. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye now.